Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy still here at NitroCon having a lot of fun, and my final interview today is without a doubt one of my favorite just people of all time right here.
I'll take that.
Yeah, you take. See, I love this guy. I'm a Filipino American. He has voiced Zuko. He has starred in Hook as Rufio, and he starred in a movie that, I mean, it spoke a lot to my auntie. It meant a lot to her. It was called Debut. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante Basco. How are you doing today?
Very good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Like, it is just a pleasure to meet you. If my auntie was here right now, she'd be flipping right.
Hey
like,
man,
seriously.
I love aunties all over the world.
Exactly. Now, being that you're Filipino,
Yes.
I'm guessing you had a Filipino upbringing, right?
Yeah, I grew up, in the Bay Area, San Francisco area, and so we were breakdancers, me and my brothers, and singing and dancing in the living room, and eating my grandmother's Filipino food, like every good Filipino.
Funny
kid.
you mentioned that. What is your favorite Filipino dish? Like, I know there's a lot, but
so many. I mean, growing up, my favorite thing was my mom's lumpias. So my mom had like a great.
You
She
went
actually
with
sold
lumpias.
lumpia, but I mean, as I've eaten a bunch of other stuff around the world, like crispy pata is one of my favorite dishes. Kare kare is one of my favorite dishes.
Dude, curry with bagoong.
See, all
There
that
you
kind
go.
of stuff.
Now, how about palabok though?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's like this yellow noodle that they cook, and then they put like this yellow sauce on it. You put patis on it. It's like
That's good.
It's heaven.
And I like my grandmother cooked. Last time I was in the Philippines, my grandmother cooked me alimango laing, which is like laing with crab. It's amazing.
Jeez. I'm hungry now.
I know I'm getting hungry too. It's about dinner time.
We should have not started off with that topic.
Right.
Now, how did you get started working in Hollywood? Was it really like tough for you to like find these roles starting out?
Yeah, I've been acting a long time. I started acting when I was 10, and even before then, I was a dancer in the Bay Area. So I've been in entertainment my whole life.
Exactly. And well, how'd you get started? Like, did someone like find you, or did you like just like do all these roles and stuff?
I was one of those lucky people that booked the first job I auditioned for, and from there on out, like I just kind of kept working. It's been close to 30 years now, so it's one of those things you just, as an actor, you can't worry about too much about all that other stuff. You just kind of gotta keep training and become the best actor you could be,
Exactly.
and then try to just keep working and keep trying to get yourself out there and express yourself as an artist.
Now, one of your first notable roles was in Hook as Rufio, the head of the Lost Boys. You were actually the leader.
The leader of the Lost
You were
Boys,
the
yeah.
leader of the Lost Boys. What was the experience like working on that film and working with Steven Spielberg?
A great experience, amazing. It's the kind of film that people come to Hollywood to do. When we were shooting that, it was the biggest film in town, so it was amazing. I was 15, so it was just me being a teenager and hanging out in that world, and with, essentially, some of the greatest filmmakers on the planet at that time. Steven Spielberg, of course.
Were you at all when you were like, Steven Spielberg's directing me right now? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I started acting when I was 10. I did that when I was 15. So by that time, I've been acting for 5 years. I'm just training a long time, and so, of course, I knew everyone who I was working with. Studied Hoffman for years. Was a big fan, of course, Spielberg, and they kind of respected me as like this young, up and coming guy at the time. Spielberg used to, cut all the time. He's called Cut because I would imitate Marlon Brando a lot, which is another actor I looked up to. So it was just an odd thing where he would like stop. He'd write my script at the end of the movie, like stop imitating Brando. Bosco.
This isn't Godfather Part 4. It's not the movie.
No, he was just saying, you're a young actor, find your own voice. But I think also, to a degree, he just kind of was just impressed that this 15-year-old kid was like chasing Brando.
I mean, hey, you gotta go for the top, right?
Totally.
You go up there and then you replace them right there.
Hey, you just, the greats are the greats. That's who we chase.
Now, after that, you also did a big movie, again, I mentioned it a lot, The Debut, which was actually very pivotal for a lot of people. It was one of the big, like, Filipino-American films. It got a lot of traction.
Totally.
And what was the experience like working with that? And what was the reaction of your what was people's reaction to your performance in that movie?
It's a great film. It's like a big, it's a classic film for Asian America, and specifically for Filipino Americans. It was the first time I actually got to play Filipino on film, which at that time I've been an actor for over 10 years in Hollywood, and so it was a very important film for me to just kind of like help tell our story,
Exactly.
or part of our story. Also, just in that film, all my brothers are in the movie, my sister, so it's great to see my family working with my
Together.
family together. But also beyond that, just people seeing my family like in the uncles and aunties in the film that you watch and the grandparents. I got to see, and I hope a lot of Filipinos and other Asian Americans got to see their families in that film also.
Yes,
So,
definitely. One scene that I still remember to this day is the scene where I believe like one of the elders came in and he puts out his hand like this,
Manon.
and you're about to, he thought you were gonna do it, and you just shook his hand.
Yeah. That's
I
the
laughed
difference.
out loud.
That's the difference of the two worlds, man. That's the old world and new world colliding.
I laughed out loud. It was just like, I get it. That was hilarious. Now, one of the biggest roles that you're most notable for is playing Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
Now, how did you attain this role? Did you go through a lot of trials and processing before?
As actors in LA, we audition a lot. So there's like another audition that kind of came in, and a role that I booked. I was actually in the middle of doing Jake Long, the American Dragon at the time. So that part came in, and actually, ironically, I booked the role of Zuko, and Mae Whitman booked the role of Katara, who was playing opposite of me on
And Jake Long
as Rose. So
he's
it's just
like,
one of
"Hey,
those
buddy."
things that kind of happened, But like most things, you don't really think of much of them at the beginning, and you just kind of do them, and they become what they become. Like it became its own phenomenal thing.
Did you expect it to blow up as big as it did?
No, not at all. Definitely not.
It just blew you by surprise. Damn, this is amazing. This is
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't even realize it till years later.
I know,
because
right?
we did the first season before anyone ever saw it, and then I didn't realize it took off until like the second or third season, really.
Now, what qualities do you see in Zuko that you see in yourself? Like, what are some qualities that you relate to Zuko?
I think most of us feel misunderstood to a certain degree, or we want to be understood better. So I can kind of, see that with Zuko. I don't know. There's like this thing of like with Prince Zuko, me and Prince Zuko, you're just trying to redeem yourself, that kind of thing, for whatever wrongs you've done in your life and other banners you give yourself. So I think that whole thing about this perceived bad guy sometimes it's actually, a prince with a golden heart. Like hopefully I have aspects of that in my personality.
Exactly. Now, you actually brought up American Dragon Jake Long. How was that like working on Jake Long compared to like working on Avatar? Which role did you enjoy the most?
I love both of them, man. It was the difference of like doing a sitcom and a drama, So like, one was like a comedy where it was fun, and the other was more dramatic. So I just look at the same thing,
And
sitcom and a drama.
And if they were to fight Jake and Zuko, who do you think would win?
Tough one, man. I mean, Jake is a dragon.
But they both use fire.
I know, but Jake is a dragon.
But he's a little goofy. He's kind of like Jackie Chan in the sense.
He's a little goofy.
Jackie Chan versus Jet Li in this building right there.
Yeah. Or Bruce Lee.
Oh, Bruce Lee. There you go. See.
It's a tough one. It'd be good.
Well, we'll just go with the tie.
We can go with a tie.
We'll go with a tie.
We'll go with a tie.
Now, this is one question I've always been curious. I want to ask any member of Avatar: The Last Airbender what they thought, and I think you know what it is. The Last Airbender movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
What did you think of that movie?
I never watched it.
You know?
I never seen the movie, so I shouldn't really speak on it.
I was, you know what? I love that actually, that you never saw it.
I never saw it.
You probably would have had your heart broken.
I definitely don't want to go there. I mean, I don't know. I heard all kinds of stuff about the film, so I really can't say. I mean, art is hard to do.
It is.
So there's nothing perfect, and for M. Night, it might have been a misstep or whatnot. So.
Well, I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Everyone
right?
Everyone
makes mistakes. We'll move on from that.
If everybody knew exactly how to make the perfect film, we'd have a lot of perfect films out there. We don't have that.
Pretty much, right there. You actually brought up that you started off before, being an actor. You were a breakdancer, and you were really into like the hip hop scene. Where did like this love for breakdancing and you'd also do poetry actually?
Yeah, spoken word.
Where did this love for breakdancing and poetry like start for you?
I just grew up in the hip hop generation, so a lot of us, from my generation, are hip hop heads. It's that's just how it is. Like there's a rock and roll generation. We were the hip hop generation. We grew up with it. In a lot of ways, I consider myself like a hip hop artist, not just through music, but also through acting. A lot of roles I did, especially on shows like Moesha and Hanging Mr. Cooper, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, along with films like Faking the Funk and Blood and Bone. Like I come from I come from the hip hop generation, so that's just part of
Did
who I am.
Did you have a hip hop name growing up? Like I'm DJ or I'm MC?
Yeah. Well, when I was a breaker, I was a Defrost.
Defrost.
Yeah, and then I was a rapper. I mean, I have a rap band, my brothers. So I just Dante, but one of my Titus was like my middle name. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have like a place that I know you said you do spoken word? Do you have like a place that you put up your poetry so people can watch them and stuff?
Oh, you can watch it on my YouTube at the Dante Basco on YouTube. Or if you're in Los Angeles, I started. I'm one of the founders of the biggest poetry venue in the country called DPO, the Poetry Lounge. So you can go to if you're in LA, come down to Merrill's in Fairfax every Tuesday night, 9 to midnight. DPL, the largest open mic venue in the country.
There you go. And one last question. So again, you've worked a lot. You've done voice work. You've done live action work. What advice would you give to aspiring young actors out there that are trying to make it into this business?
To any young artist doing anything, whether it's acting, dancing, singing, music, I would just say, get good. Get really good. There's a lot of people who want to come into this industry and say it's all about who you know and it's all about getting lucky. And even though there's aspects of that, the reality is getting good is not lucky. Like that's hard work, that's discipline, that's the craft. So get good, and the better you are, it actually makes you more lucky. So you're gonna have to get lucky. That's part of it, but the better you are, the luckier you'll be.
I just wish we could play like Daft Punk Get Lucky right now. Just
Yeah.
like, we're up all night to get lucky.
Hey.
There you go. Thank you so much for doing this interview so much. I would like to thank Dante Basco for sitting here doing this interview with me. I'd like to thank Matthew Goodsonor for making this interview even possible. And I want to thank... Shout out, Matt, wherever you are. And I want to thank Anime Spot for bringing Dante Basco to our wonderful school. I mean, it's just been a pleasure, man. And please, go check out his YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description so you guys go check it out. I've actually seen some of your videos as well. Man. So I can't wait to see more. And if you could do me one tiny favor, could you look into the camera and say, I'm Dante Basco, and you're watching The Black Critic Guy. Peace, YouTube.
I'm Dante Basco, and you're watching The Black Critic Guy. Peace, YouTube.
Peace, guys.
Wow.